Hello once again to Saviours DND, our weekly Dungeons and Dragons stream. Hope you're all well out there. As ever, we'd be grateful for any new follows or subscriptions here on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/SavioursDnD, and also at our Twitter and YouTube, which you'll find links down below the stream. We'll read out any new followers or subs at the end of the stream. We are also running a giveaway at the moment for new followers here on the Twitch channel. Our goal was to get up to 150, but it's sort of slowed down a wee bit. So we will be just making the draw on the first show in the new year, which I think will be 6th of January. Unless we get to the 150 before, but I think I was maybe a wee bit ambitious with the targets, but nothing.
Well, we were in the middle of a growth spurt, so it kind of made sense.
We are indeed. It has definitely helped greatly. Yeah. So all you need to do is follow us here at Twitch and retweet the tweet that is pinned to our Twitter to be in with a chance of winning a set of Sang Royale dice, which are very lovely indeed, from our sponsor, Libris Arcana. And if you like them, you can also get 10% off your first month of their dice subscription with the code SavioursDnD. So
10 or 25?
25%, sorry, you are correct.
I just gained you 15%.
Yes, indeed. Or indeed, I tried to steal 15% from you for myself. So yes, absolutely. And I think that is all. Just that we will be taking sort of normal break for the next 2 weekends with people coming and going on the festive holidays. So this shall be our Christmas episode, but I'm not very Christmassy, so there'll be not a lot of festive cheer.
There's a little bit of festive cheer on the UI, but that's... Yes. And stick around till after for something very festive.
Murder and mayhem is normal. Yes, and yes. Watch to the very end for some a special outro from Mr. Dombro. So
I don't know if I want to put my name next to this. Anyway, carry on.
I've done it for you, so decision.
Yeah, all right.
And without further ado, let us introduce. We are down one player. Terror Blades is out celebrating for some strange reason when it's Dungeons and Dragons time. I mean, just don't worry, I shall fine him. I'll give him disadvantage when he returns. Jabberwocky, would you like to introduce yourself and your character?
Characters, yes. So I am Jabberwocky, and I will be playing Salir, Mara, and Garvin this week.
Yes.
So,
Indeed.
from what I'm aware of, Mara is a human cleric of Joaquin, who is very good with her choice of prepared spells for today.
What do you mean? A praise item is just going to be so crucial.
All the stuff we need in the Underdark.
Yeah.
and not preparing daylight spell.
Yeah.
Garvin, he's Garvin. He follows Mara. And then Salir, he's Salir. He's a half vampire, half elf barbarian of the Hemomancer. And
Jabber's character.
And my character. My real one.
Your real character.
My real one. He's from far. Yes. Hemomancer is our...
Yes, still a slight work in progress. We're still collaboratively tweaking a little bit.
As we create more and more deficits for him.
Absolutely.
He will one day maybe find his way to the DM's Guild?
Possibly.
Have you considered it?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But it has to be...
that would be nice.
Yeah, play tested a bit more.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that today.
Indeed. Emeros. Introduce yourself and Cyric.
Hello, yes, I'm Emeros, and I play Cyric, who is a yuan-ti druid / warlock. And since I left early last time, I have no clue really where I am right now.
I shall give a wee update. Just
killed
before
you.
We start in a second. Yeah, no.
Yes.
They didn't. And last but no means least, Donbro and Alton.
Hello, I am Danbro, and I play Alton. He is a little gnomish forest boy who is from the Feywild. He's not originally from Faerun, which is where our setting of this game is. So he sort of finds mundane things exciting and exciting things mundane. He's just a strange little bard man. He is a mute, and he speaks and casts his spells through his white raven, who is named Quill. Anytime you hear him speaking, it is actually through the bird. So, yeah. I'll just give a brief description. Small, ginger hair, spiky red hair, and whatever. There he is. His picture's right there.
Indeed. Well, we are continuing our journeys with the Redwall Saviours through the Underdark. They have been tasked by the city of Neverwinter to find this outpost of drow that has been discovered underneath the city. And last week, after releasing some slaves that had been forced, or the remainder of slaves who had actually survived some forced mining in a mine in the Underdark, they continued onwards, following the tracks of drow towards where their main encampment was, with a wee bit more information. And just towards the end of last stream, I think it was Mara, had noticed a torch in the distance that had come in from the right-hand side from a different pathway, and then had joined your path in front of you, and you had been following behind it. And you had just entered some slightly different caverns, whereby the Underdark had been providing dim light due to bioluminescent plants, mosses, and lichens. Over a period of several hundred yards, that had slowly been replaced by large crystals jutting out of the surface and of the ground and the ceiling and the walls. And their slightly pulsing light had replaced the plants, as they just completely seemed to not be growing in these caverns instead. And we find the party who are now just wondering what to do. They have seen a slight increase in the light ahead, where the torch had stopped for some time. And they were just deciding how to proceed. This is the slightly awkward bit, as Mara was the one that was kind of taking the lead.
Everyone looks to Salir.
I mean,
Yeah.
we charge head in and hit him with an axe.
I think at the, just as well, at the moment, Quill is sort of circling. Not circling, but he was sort of getting the vantage of them.
Yes, exactly. Quill had gone ahead, and there'd been a cavern with a big rocky outcropping in the middle, so you could go around it on either side. And he'd sat on the top and watched them go into a tunnel opening. And that's how you know that, because he'd come back and relayed that information to you.
What do you think, Mara? Should we just paste them?
God damn it, please don't.
Gavin,
Everyone's going to talk to
any
Mara.
insight? As Ashley said, Mara.
Give me a couple days to practice. I haven't been paying attention close enough to Mara's personality yet.
Yeah. Cautious but steadfast.
So make of that what you will. I don't think you have to role play her, though. I don't think.
No, you don't.
I think that's a bit of a headache.
I mean, so we saw people ahead. There's an increase of lights.
You have not seen anybody, and neither did Quill. All you saw was the glow of a torchlight coming in. And when you got to the point when you were following it, where the path came in for the right-hand side, you could see that it was similar to what you'd seen in the caverns. It was obviously drow with slaves that had come in from a tangent and are now on the same route as you in front of you, and you're at the edge of a tunnel going into a large cavern, but you don't have line of sight to where they are because there's a large rocky outcropping in the middle.
We know their direction.
Quill is, yeah, you know their direction, and Quill's seen them already go off into this other tunnel. Or, again, he's seen the light receding down that tunnel, which is pitch black. There doesn't seem to be any of these crystals in that tunnel.
I think we should just keep following. I mean, if it's moving, we'll just
we should pace them.
Keep up our distance from them, but continue on.
Do you know? And as well, I think
warily.
Alton will say to Cyric, "You wouldn't mind watching behind us every now and again, just to make sure there's nothing coming up from behind us."
No worries, I'm on it. So Cyric tells Nox, his little serpent pal, to keep an eye out for behind us.
Not a problem at all.
I don't think I have a stat sheet for him though.
No, we've not done that. I'll do that at some point, but at this moment in time, that's fine though. Are you all moving on, and are you attempting to stealth, or are you? Just
yeah, definitely trying to keep quiet and trying to keep pace with them.
Okay,
that's how I see it. Anyway.
Let's have a round of stealth checks at that point. In that case,
perfect.
I'd like to inspire Garvin.
Let's go.
You are a mouse. You're a tiny, quiet mouse. Go.
That's a D6.
It's a D8, I think.
D8, I think, possibly.
Perfect.
We'll have to check.
But remember, but you are rolling at disadvantage because of his armor.
Yes. But the inspiration did a lot of help. So,
okay.
What's his pluses? Yeah, makes sense. And Mara, you get
-1 or something.
Dice. Ooh, Mara, not so hot.
Oh, I just punched the microphone. Awesome.
26 for Alton.
Okay.
19 for Cyric.
Good.
Okay.
7 for Mara, 16 for Garvin, 9 for Salir.
Oh.
Wait, hold on, I didn't add my pluses to my own. 10 for Salir.
Oh.
So you got an average. You got an average.
Yeah,
Alton aced the test. Cyric aced the test. Hopefully.
Garvin did surprisingly well.
Just tell us by how bad we fucked up. It's great.
No, I mean, I think it's one of these things. When okay, this is a little bit of a mechanical thing, but I've always seen it as if someone is not actively looking for you, which you have no reason to assume they are. Yeah. I tend to take averages of these sorts of things. So I think as a party, I see Alton with such a high roll and Mara with such a bad roll. I see sort of Mara just about to trip and Alton just managing to run up and sort of hold on to her just so she doesn't clatter forward and drop her shield that'll make a lot of noise on stones and these sorts of things. Obviously, when you're stealthing, you only move at half speed. So you quite quickly see the light receding in front of you. There are no offshoots of this tunnel, so there's nowhere else it can have gone at this moment in time. But unless, if you continue to move stealthily, it will go out of your view once you're there.
Now, the whole point of this was that we're to pace them. So would it be feasible to do stealth checks when we're getting close and to you know what I mean? So that we can actually keep pace, which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem. So it won't be the same stealth check. It'll be that's fine.
Sorry.
I think just to stop super amounts of rolling at the moment, we can sort of see that you just hang back, so you're always just on the edge of seeing it at the moment.
And what we'll be doing is every now and again Quill will fly forward to catch the light again so that we know.
Yes, absolutely. Not a problem. So I think this sort of cat and mouse, with the mouse not realizing the cat's there behind them,
As long as we're not the mouse too.
You may or may not be.
Yeah. See how are those perception checks going?
No, nothing's seen behind.
Don't trust you.
I've literally not rolled dice because you can hear when I do. I should actually just sit here rolling dice the whole time just to freak
Yeah, that won't annoy anybody.
Right, sorry. I'm getting sidetracked, teasing people. So I think this, as I say, this sort of cat and mouse continues for maybe about another half an hour, 40 minutes. The Underdark is quite silent. So there's not a lot of noise going around. And obviously, the way I described before, it's sort of silt on the ground. So that's naturally dampening footprints and footfalls anyway. So it's not, unless you actually fall against the walls or something on your person jangles, it's actually naturally quite quiet to walk anyway. But after
Thunderclap.
Yes, that's right.
Shatter.
After that sort of half an hour, you start to notice that the rough natural caverns of the Underdark, the walls start to take on a slightly more regular basis. Not so much that they have been mined out, but maybe the natural openings have been widened slightly, so you start seeing quite obvious tool marks where it's all rough and jagged, it's sort of started to be smoothed off. Not like dwarven lovely tunnels or anything like that, but it's just slightly more regular, slightly more sort of mathematical in its shapes and
to try to get a cart through or something.
Is there yeah, just as you said, to get a cart through, are there tracks here?
There are no tracks, no.
Okay.
But it is wide enough now where you had been following a tunnel that was maybe only about 5 feet across, 8 feet tall. That sort of just slowly starts to open up. So it's now about 20 feet wide and about 15 feet tall. And the torchlight in front of you, you start to see. Actually, before I say that, everyone make a perception check that's looking forward.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh, great. Roll the 2 plus 6.
That's okay. I'm sure somebody will roll well.
15.
Okay.
What the hell are Mara's pluses?
Oh, she's good. She's like a plus.
Quite
8.
a lot on perception.
Might even be a plus 11.
Plus 11.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
I think anyone though that actually rolled more than a 14, because it's not hugely difficult.
I rolled a 5 for Salir.
Right.
Alton is going to see something that never happens.
You start to see the torchlight being joined by another glow, so it's like it's catching up, and at the distance you are, you just seem to see that it's obvious they've passed into a larger cavern beyond, and that there is fixed torchlight there at wherever they are. And you kind of lose sight, even with Mara's 25, you lose sight of the torch you've been following in amongst the other torches that are there.
Okay.
Again, you can't physically see this. This is at this moment in time till you get much closer. This is just based on reflected light onto the roof of the cavern.
How far back are we? Approximately. Obviously, we don't know.
I mean, let me just have a look with torchlight. You can basically answer that question.
And also with something as high as a perception check as Mara, would she hear anything along with
She's
the light?
Not hearing anything.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I would say you're going to be at least to be at no risk of being seen. You're going to be probably double the radius of the light, so it's 40 foot bright light. 40 foot dim light. 20 foot bright light, 20 foot dim light. So let's double it. So at least 80 feet back, if not maybe 100 to be totally certain.
Okay.
because that's only the light that it's casting, but obviously in a dark area you can see it for quite a long.
Yeah. Cool. See a light.
Do you all continue moving forward, or?
If the light keeps moving, yeah, I think we'll continue.
Well, this is what I'm saying is you can't really see. You sort of lose the light you've been tracking in amongst other lights that are already there.
Yeah,
even with that 25, because it's all just you can see there's like fixed points of illumination now, not just from the crystal.
Alton
I think
will,
we still keep.
Yeah, Alton will keep going till about 40 feet and then he'll sort of wait, slow down, and then he'll send Quill forward.
Absolutely, not a problem.
Sounds
so
good.
Quill moves forward, and the tunnel where he leaves you is about 15 feet tall, but it quite quickly the roof goes up to maybe about 30 or 40 feet. Again, the cavern opens, so it's about 40 or 50 feet wide, but then it naturally wastes back into a small narrow opening, but with a very high arched entrance, and you can see an even larger cavern behind. There seems to be a gate or something where the cavern wastes in. If you think like the thorax of a wasp, so you've got a sort of a small cavern, a natural opening, and then a bigger cavern behind. The gate seems to be open and does not seem to be guarded. And there are two lanterns hanging on sconces either side of the gate. And I think the only other thing without perception that Quill would see quite openly is through the open gate, he can see very large purple crystals emanating light in the larger cavern beyond.
Yeah. Quill will come back. He'll sort of land onto Alton and say, "Head, there's a gate. Beyond that is a strange crystals in a big dungeon, big cavern rather."
Will
no sign of
something.
No sign of the drow party.
Well, they are probably expecting us
Will
from the lady disappearing.
Will didn't see any signs of ambush. It's possible though.
Will the gate is something we should check out anyway?
Yes, it's open. It doesn't look guarded either.
That does not sound good.
Does the gate have like a guard box, like a police box, like attached to it, or is it just
hello? What's going on here then?
Not obvious from the side that Quill, but there may be something. But there's nothing obviously like protruding above the gate. The gate itself is probably about, so there's a wee bit of fence either side to fill in the gap. That's maybe about 2 or 3 feet on either side, and then it's a double gate that opens in the middle, again wide enough for a cart or something to go through, and it's about 8 feet tall. And then there's at least another 8 or 10 feet above it before there's this sort of arched opening into the larger cavern.
Okay.
I'll just have Cyric make a perception check just to see that we are not actually being
Yep, not a problem.
watched. Let's see. That's
25. You are pretty certain that there is nobody watching you at this moment in time.
All right.
All seems calm and quiet.
Yeah, if no one has any complaints, I think now we approach stealthily.
Yeah, okay. Everyone roll stealth again.
Inspiration to Cavern again. And this time you're a little shrew.
Oh, Garvin's feeling good. Garvin's feeling good. Garvin's feeling real good.
20 on the stealth for me.
Okay.
19 for me.
Mara got a nat 20.
Ooh.
So they did okay.
So
What is
there's
okay? What is
Alright,
okay for Celia?
So we have a 14 for Celia, a 17 for Garvin, and a nat 20 for Mara.
Pretty high.
There's no bonuses to Mara's. It's just a 20.
So you move forward and you see the gate and the sconces as Quill has described to Alton. The gate seems to be ajar and there does not seem to be anyone guarding it that you can see.
Can I do a quick investigation just to see if there are anything that might set off a trap? Anything, I don't know, any
Alarm.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gingerly have a look. 25.
25. So you spend some time looking around, and you do find a fine thread running at the bottom of the gate. Does not seem to be a trap, but a simple alarm.
Okay. I think as he sees it, someone's trying to brush past him, and I think he just catches them just as they're maybe just about to send on something. Nope. There's something here. We'll have to try and disarm it. But with that investigation, the alarm, is it magic? Is it bells? Is it,
the cord, it is not magical.
Okay.
The cords run behind, so you think it probably is a bell or something along those lines, but you can't actually see what it's going to trigger if you stepped on it.
Okay. And it's like a pressure pad?
It's like a tripwire.
Okay, so I think he'll just sort of take a dagger, make a little burrow so everyone can see nice and handily where not to step. He will also follow it himself just to see if they double back it again, just to be really tricksy.
Yep, absolutely. And I think that the roll that you've already done at 25, you absolutely do that, but there doesn't seem to be any double blinds or anything like that. It was well hidden. You think that it would have been quite easy for you to overlook and to trigger, but it's not super sophisticated. It's just well hidden.
I think Alton at this stage, he's sort of, after digging a roll, he'll just turn around, he'll have like mock up on his face, and he'll be like sweating as if he was disarming a bomb. He'll be like, "Hi. You can go forward now. I wonder if this means they know we're here." And he sort of says that and ponders it for a moment and walks forward.
Well, it could just be that it was always up.
Maybe.
But we should be cautious.
Mm-hmm.
We should expect them to expect us.
So move with caution.
You pass through, all managing to avoid... Sorry, did you say you cut the alarm, or you just highlighted it?
I highlighted it and showed it. Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure.
I'm not going to.
It's not like I could. It's not like I could run up and
things.
Cut the bell off. Like that's like, thunk. But like I couldn't see it, so.
Yeah, it's nobody needs to make dexterity checks or anything. It's easy enough to see, once it's pointed out. It's easy enough to avoid, so everyone can pass on without tripping it. And you move through the gate, and there are indeed 2 wee gate cubbies on either side, on the other side, but they are empty. And you come into quite a large cavern, very odd, roughly shaped, with wee nooks and crannies going in. And there are smaller of these crystals that you've seen that is providing the luminescence, but the cavern itself is dominated by 2 massive purple crystals jutting out irregularly. One of them directly in front of you as you come through the entrance, and another one a little to your right-hand side. And these almost touch the 40-foot top of the cavern. They are strange angular shapes, probably 10, 12 feet wide as well at points, although they're not super straight and regular from top to bottom. they seem natural. They've got that slightly clouded appearance where most stones have, if they've not had the polisher's touch or the gemstone cut and stuff like that. And it's the same things that Garvin told you about last week. It's not these crystals that you got from the mine. It is definitely just these normal crystals. There are also three other exits available, visible to you. There are two to the north, one very close to your left-hand side to the north, one in the northwestern corner, and a third one in the southwestern corner. There is also a stone platform on the north side with an obvious palisade atop it, probably about 15 feet high from the ground.
What's a palisade?
It means it's like a barrier that somebody's built, sort of extra defense, so people can duck down behind it. Palisade's quite often at the top of a medieval wall.
Okay, so so a palisade, would that be like this motion, like up and then down and then up?
That's crenellation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very well.
I am just getting palisade, sometimes called a stake wall or a paling. It's typically a fence made from wooden stakes.
But this one, it's more towards defense, you think? You said.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's thick.
This is probably only about 2 or 3 feet tall above the stone platform, but it's enough for someone to duck behind for full cover if they were.
Okay.
And it seems to be made out of probably the carapaces of some strange large insectoid creature that's been overlapped to create the fencing.
Okay.
Gross. I think Zurich will speak telepathically with the party.
Mm-hmm.
And this eerily looks like a place for an ambush. I think maybe we should seek cover somehow. Because the way I imagine it is that that palisade is facing towards us.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite obvious that is a defensive structure that looks into the cavern that you're in. Absolutely. And it's overlooking 2 of the 3 entrances directly and has good lines of sight over the other 2.
Yeah.
Do we see anything at the top of the palisade?
Not at this moment in time, but everyone can make perception checks if they want.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep punching my microphone. I hope that's not coming.
17 total.
Okay.
12.
Do you think Mara would check?
Oh yeah, in this sort of circumstances, definitely.
26.
Do you think Mara would do perception?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Every time. Plus 11.
I don't pay attention to Terror too much, so.
It's best not to.
It's for my own sanity.
Is that sort of self-editing as we go along sort of thing? Yeah.
I can't even see like picture on Discord. It's just like a blur.
So none of you notice anyone apart from Mara. And just before Mara is about to say there's somebody up there, you see quite an elegant but heavily armoured drow man stand up from behind the palisade. Let me see.
Oh, he disappeared. He's so fast.
No, sorry. I'm trying to hit the thing to show the token to everyone. And I clicked the wrong shortcut. Is it that one? No.
Shift Z?
Yeah. Does that work for you all?
Yep. There it is.
Okay. So, and he regards you, although that picture looks quite stern, he looks amused, shall we say.
Oh, he has seen us.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
he stood up. He knows exactly where you are. Now remember, the Scion woman escaped and said, "I'm going to tell them you're coming." So it shouldn't
Yeah.
really come as a surprise.
We're not
to the party
surprised.
that- no.
Nah.
And he says to him to you all, well, you took your time getting here, didn't you? But persistence, nevertheless, here you are. What do you think you're going to gain from continuing this course of action? I have no wish to slaughter you all, but really, running pell-mell into the House of Drow is not the most sensible thing.
Alton will say to Salir, I think we found the Drow's house.
I think the moment the guy stands up, so Salir like kind of raises a hand in greeting, just like, we were found.
You got us.
Just like, well,
Wah, wah.
you see, our plan was to come in and kill all of you. Being honest, frankly,
And we know you males are allergic to fire.
frankly, we just kind of don't want you to be at all involved in Neverwinter ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could just not do that.
Yes, and
Our
give us your
job will be done.
slaves.
Well, they say drow get a bad reputation, but coming into somebody's home and purely with the intention of murdering them really is not very friendly.
You live here.
It's not exactly the heroic actions of a group of adventurers.
Well,
That's true.
yes.
What about
But
defending a city from arsonists, huh? Who
if you think of it this
burnt down a
way,
temple. That's you guys.
this is a revenge plot.
Yeah.
And therefore, we're always in the right with a
That's
revenge
us.
plot.
We know exactly what we're doing.
Well, from the vantage point where I watched that attack on the temple, I think it was one of you that set fire to it with a stray fireball.
I
I
don't
don't
remember
think
seeing you
I-
anywhere.
I don't think
Sorry,
anybody
points
could
out.
I don't think anybody could truthfully claim that because it was inside. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean,
Drow can cast fire, right? Yeah.
I don't think so. They're allergic to it, actually.
Oh crap! Neither would.
Either way,
You do know there are magics, so I can see through other people's eyes and things like that. You have
Ooh,
a cleric and
I
a
don't
bard,
know
and
that.
sure, one of you probably can cast such spells.
If
Seriously,
you are-
It's difficult
I
to
think
see
that's a-
places that are unwarded if you want to.
if you are a magicka, that would mean you would have some amount of intelligence. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
I have no magic.
Oh,
I have people to do that for me.
I see.
So-
I prefer the elegance of a fine blade.
Elegance of a fine
So-
blade.
Well,
The reasoning that you are talking
each his
to
own.
us is because you want to negotiate.
No negotiation. I'm simply giving you the option of turning around and leaving with your lives. Leave us to it. As it would happen, we are probably all going to withdraw to Luskan, as we have had what we wished to get from here already. I
Which
know you
is-
have disrupted our mine, but I think the vein that we have been mining is all but run out, so we have everything that we need from this region.
That was interesting, those crystals that you had.
Yes, they are very
As
interesting.
a learned man to another, what were they about?
You don't really expect me to just spill my secrets, do you?
I mean, I thought we were friends. Cast friends.
Right, okay. What's charisma? save?
I make
It's not
charisma
a
with
saving
advantage.
So
So
friends is a self spell.
I'm
Ah,
essentially trying to persuade to him that it's totally fine to tell us. We're probably all this. If this goes well, we're probably all just gonna leave company anyway.
So you get advantage on charisma checks. Okay.
Yeah.
So you make a persuasion check then
Mhm.
with advantage.
Where is my...
This is like the scene in James Bond where the baddie tells all of the detailed plans.
It's
We
over how bad
want to
it's-
get him monologuing.
Yeah.
It's 26.
Okay. We rolled a 3, so...
Yeah. Well, what were they? They were very interesting looking.
Bear with me. I haven't written this up in the computer, so I should just have to get my little notebook out.
Good.
Okay, so... Well, I suppose can't hurt to give you a little bit of an insight. Might convince you that this is an inopportune course of action and make you turn around and just leave us be.
Yes,
So,
That would be ideal.
that would be a really good explanation.
Some of our brethren have psionic powers.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Not unlike magic, but it comes from a different place. And
Some
way
of your
more
sisterin
painful.
have them as well.
And the crystals allow them to temporarily unlock additional powers sometimes.
Ah.
That's cheating.
The crystals are incredibly rare. We have been seeking veins of these.
If one was
Some
to, say,
time.
sniff some of it, what could happen?
Well, 3 things. One, you could quite badly harm yourself.
Okay.
Or you can unlock psychic powers of a different time for a short period.
Okay.
Much better for people who have already been trained in such and have such powers. It enhances what is already there.
Alton yawns.
Truthfully,
I
they're
can cast
so,
most magic anyway. I'd probably be fine. Ugh.
truthfully, they're so rare and expensive. We have not wasted any experimenting on people that do not have such powers already.
Not even on a bard?
No.
That seems like
You-
a short-sighted.
Usually such gregarious creatures.
And Alton sort of gives him a big smile and winks.
They are so rare as these veins are not the veins of natural forming crystals and minerals that your dwarven friend will probably be aware of, but these are the remains of an elemental of psychic energy, which is an
Oh.
incredibly rare life form. Many thought simply to be a thing of myths.
Ah.
But when they die, their bodies crystallize, and these veins are left behind.
Alton's very confused by all of it. You sort of look back to him.
Even when they are found, they're often mistaken just for simple quartz and used in mundane items of jewelry.
Can I ask you another question? Oh, I didn't get your name.
I didn't give you my name.
What is your name? I'm Beatrice.
Make a deception check.
For 30.
I know that you're not Beatrice, and I know all of your names already. We have been in the city, so...
Oh, my friends call me Beatrice. Sorry.
But I know your name, so I do not see the problem with you knowing mine. I am Coranzin Vandry.
Manzin Van.
Where's my notebook?
That sounds... I like it. Good name.
Good.
As they go.
Ceric leans over to Alton and asks him why they attacked the Overgul's
Oh, yeah.
temple.
I will. What did he say his name was? Something Vandrin.
Coranzi.
Kranzin?
Coranzin.
Coranzin. Coranzin,
Like Corona.
I do wonder why you attacked the Overgold. What was the purpose of all that?
Make a persuasion check. I'd say
I got a sense of-
you've still got your friends up at the moment.
Yeah. Persuasion, you said?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
24.
5. I'm not rolling well today.
He is in
doing it.
against a bard, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Well, I shall be honest. I'm not sure of all of the, how shall we say, the intricacies. Mistress Oblodra does not confide in us all of her machinations, but it is for some plan that she has with the Overgold, and she thought that the wife and the child would prove difficult. Removing an obstacle, shall we say, to smooth the path of another plan. But genuinely, I am not party to the details.
So, do the drow always fail at their missions? Is this common? I'm sorry, I'm not from around these ways.
There is certain history in meddling adventurers getting in our way, but...
Yes, and stopping you, ultimately, probably.
Your cheap attempt to provoke is quite sweet, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Have you ever had jam?
Just from 0 to 100 to 0, gang. Just boom, boom, boom.
I have heard of it, but I prefer savoury to sweet.
I don't know what that means.
I have a
And I
question.
looked at Celia. Did we want to? Is there anything else we need from him?
Hold
or-
on, I have a question. So
That's
you
Celia.
ultimately, he knows my name apparently.
I know, he said.
So ultimately, you want us to not come in there and kill a bunch of you.
Well, that would be very pleasant, yes.
Right. But that is what we want to do.
We seem to be at a little bit of an impasse. But
Right.
if
So that's
bloodshed
why.
is what you want, then we can
No, I'm
simply
going
just
to.
cut straight to the bloodshed if that's what
I'm
you
going
wish.
to offer
Nice
you.
pun.
Do you,
I like that.
Do you have something that would convince us that you are definitely done with Neverwinter? Because that is all we were told is to get
Yeah.
rid of the cell attacking Neverwinter.
Indeed.
So, if we know that you are done attacking Neverwinter, I mean, how many people do you think we could kill before you take us out? That's a big chunk of people.
I could kill many.
And just as Celia says that, Alton, you feel your spell end.
Mhm.
And you know that as when the spell ends, the creature will realise that Friends has been used upon it. And you can see his mood and the cast of his face change.
You'll see Alton panic slightly and sort of start tugging on Celia. Celia.
What?
He's no longer under.
Because it's only a minute. So
Yeah.
I think we've had enough. Sort of.
Well, I might have had
So-
my mitts in his brain for a minute.
Oh, God.
Well,
Right.
Mr. Alton, that is definitely not the sort of response I was expecting, and then you seem to have wheedled some information out of me that I was not planning on sharing.
That's the point.
So,
I think I'm kind of tending further towards having my men murder you.
Okay.
I thought you would say that.
Yeah. Is it your men? Men. Because I'm okay with that.
Well, men,
Yeah, frankly.
wizards,
Oh,
priestesses,
no,
that is not
come
men.
on.
That-
There's not necessarily no need for that.
No women.
psionic
because-
users.
Oh, but that last
And-
one was really painful.
And at this moment in time, can everyone sort of say whereabouts in the cavern are you? Have you been? Are you all clustered around the door?
I imagine we're all just sort of looking up at him on his balcony.
Yeah, I don't think
moved up to sort of.
Yeah,
I don't
we were
think
having
we
a
got
chat.
fully to the front of the palisade. I think it's sort of like we're on the edge of the light to
There's-
where
yeah,
we
there's shouting
noticed him,
distance.
he noticed. Oh yeah,
We're
basically
just
like-
talking.
yeah.
I believe when there was a point where Celia started to talk about coming in and murdering them,
Yeah.
that's when Sirik would take a lot of steps, you know, away from him. So
And I think at that point he says, "Well, do you have any other questions, or should we just move on to the bloodshed then? As it seems that is where we are heading, pell mell."
Can I have one of the
Yes.
crystals?
Okay.
No, you cannot have any of the crystals, and
May
I
I-
would
may I
appreciate
take a
that
question?
if you don't use the one that you have,
Oh.
because I would quite like to get that back off your cold dead body.
I might just use it right now.
Second question:
we're done.
Do you have any sort of like honor duels, sort of thing in your culture, to where I fight you and then whoever
Well,
wins, we solve everything like that?
You cannot trust them, silly.
You know what? We actually do, but we do not
Lies.
duel with anybody other than drows. You're all beneath us.
That is
I would be seen to have sullied myself if I fought a duel with anybody.
especially
that
because you
wasn't-
would lose.
Oh, really badly.
It'd be funny.
Well,
All right,
I understand.
You can send out your men now.
I love it.
No, hold on.
and with,
Sirik from way far behind. Wait.
No,
no, on you go. If you've said wait,
No.
he well,
No.
The yuan-ti has not had his say. It is only fair.
I'm sorry, but you're done here now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And with that, he sort of looks over his shoulder and gives a nod.
No, I think my second language impaired me from
Try again.
actually.
All right, okay.
No, I was meaning to
It
say.
sounded
you're
like, I
done
think
here.
we're done here.
No, that you're done here in Neverwinter.
All right, okay.
As in you're. So you're saying like you're moving on.
Oh, it was a
That
question.
that was more a question, like, are your operations here done, finished?
I think he responds to that as well. I'm sorry, but I gave too much information when your little short friend was dabbling in my brain, but I'm not going to fall for that again.
I mean, cast friends.
But cast it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you could tell him what he wants to hear, surely.
Persuasion check.
Natural 20. Which equates to
Jesus.
a total of 28.
That's fine. He only rolled a natural 11, so he's not going to get a 28 even with his positives.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sirik, ask your question.
Well, I think you don't have to ask it again, but as well, obviously we shall retain some presence here, but our main purpose is done. It's just a case of transporting things back to our main encampment in Muskin.
Alton will turn to Salir. You'll look at Salir. You'll look at Salir's axe. You'll look at Salir's hand on Salir's axe. And he'll say, you know, if we were to get out of here, now would be the time. Up to you. And he's still talking, I imagine.
I think it is more up to everybody else.
Oh, no, my hands are in his brain again.
No, I'll follow the group.
Oh,
Are
okay.
we attacking? Are we running? Whatever.
Alright.
Well,
If we don't run now, I don't think we can, is what I'm saying.
Probably true.
no,
Right, I'll give you all one
I
last
think-
chance before Friends runs out again then. Because it's
I-
only a minute, so a minute goes quite quickly. I mean, Alton,
sentences.
you can sort of
I-
say like, "There's only 10 seconds left" or something before.
Well, if there's only 10 seconds left, then there's no point.
I think
we won't get far.
I think Sirik looks down, and his eyes just peeks up towards him again. Lower races, you say? Well, we'll see about that. And then I think it's time, isn't it?
You could probably get a surprise attack.
I think he goes.
Yeah.
I think he just responded, and Alton's friends falls away again, and it's just like, yes, I think we shall see. He sort of looks over his shoulders and nods, and you hear a rattling noise, and the gates behind you slam shut, stopping your.
We're in the
exit.
arena.
And, he goes, well, I do hope that you find dealing with my little pets and my men, and I'm sure I won't be seeing you again. And he turns and walks off out of your view.
That is a death flag.
I think as he's leaving, Alton will shout, "I got in your head again."
He doesn't react.
I know, but he does when he's probably turned around and winces. That's how I see it.
You start to hear a sort of chittering noise that you recognize from the caves of Anna Orchis as being the movement of
no.
spiders. And out of the most northeasterly tunnel, you see horrific 3 shapes coming out.
Can we not?
Large, bulbous, 8-legged bodies, to the top of which are fused beautiful drow.
Oh shit!
No.
Oh
As
no!
what the players, but the characters probably don't know, are
Yeah.
Driders come out.
You said female
I'm-
bodies.
One day I'm going to play a campaign where the DM will let me play a Drider. But
Not today.
This is not that.
today.
And 6 drow also come up from behind the palisade and aim crossbows at you. So, I think we are time to roll in.
Oh yes, okay. Rolled well. These are all dexterous beasts. That's a total of 21 for me.
Oh, I'll come round and ask you
Okay,
because
cool,
I've
cool,
got a lot of.
Yep.
Mm.
15 plus the parties.
I'm just going to do the drow as a single entity and just have them as a. Okay. Basic bitch drow. Okay, natural 1.
That's good. That's good. I like to call them the ads.
Yeah.
You're the ads.
I tend to see them as bonus XP.
Yeah. It's these other 3 motherfuckers that are going to cause the issues anyway. And whatever comes next. If there is a next.
That.
3 Driders? Oh
That's-
man. This is scarier than I think we appreciate.
That's that. Right. So, Alton,
Yes.
what was your
21.
Okay. Celir.
I got to 7.
Mm.
Okay.
Mara
Sir?
got an 11.
I got a
11.
5.
5. And Garvin?
Got a 16.
Mm.
Right. So the situation is, I think you guys are roughly in the middle of this cavern. I think that makes sense that you sort of moved to speak to the platform. You've not gone too close to the platform because you wouldn't be able to see on the angle. And as you're looking at the platform, these 3 Drider are coming out of a cavern, a tunnel entrance on your sort of oblique left-hand side in front of you. They are all probably about... Let me have a look at my sheet. About 45 feet away from you.
God damn. I have a question.
Yep.
I don't have a question. It would be metagaming. Carry on.
Okay.
Yeah. Carry on. We'll find out.
Alton, as is regularly the case, you have acted first in initiative.
Okay. So the 3 Drider came out of one tunnel. The 6 drow males are on the palisade, or
They're behind the palisade, so
Behind the
they've all got part cover behind it. And if they duck down, you'd say they would get full cover. You can see this, the whole thing.
Yeah.
What this is designed around.
okay? So Alton will say, "I know your secret," and he will a little small bead of orange light will fly towards the palisade and come crashing down with a fireball on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're allergic to fire.
Yes.
I remember.
Sorry, I'm bad at math.
No, don't worry.
So total of 23
Okay.
fire damage.
So, what's your DC again?
DC 16.
Okay, first one gets a 12, an 18, another 18,
Just rolled.
a 6, a 10, another 18. How many is that? Is that all 6?
Yeah, it's all 6, 3 18s.
So 3. So you kill 3 outright, and you
Yeah.
heavily injure 3 that pass.
Yeah. I think Alton's satisfied with that. He will. Whereabouts? Okay, so we're standing here. We'll say. Drider's over here.
I'm not looking at your camera there. I could sort of see out my periphery you were making.
No, but I'm just saying we're standing in front of the palisade, off or back a bit.
Yep.
The 6 drow boys are on top of the / behind the palisade, and
Yep.
off to our left are 3 Drider friends.
Yes.
So at the end of his turn, he'll just go boomf, and he'll misty step 30 feet off to the right. Let's say backing off to the right. And
That's fine.
He'll end his turn there.
Absolutely.
So in a puff of smoke, gun.
It is one of the Drider to act next in initiative.
Oh dear.
And it is just going to scuttle up onto the... So it's going to go up round the wall onto the ceiling above you.
No.
Why?
I hate this.
And it is...
Because they just
going
straight up
to-
have wall walking, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It is going to cast Fairy Fire on the rest of you.
Ooh.
So
Can it? How many can it get?
It's
that's
an
just
AoE.
what it is an AoE. I'm just checking.
It's everybody, unfortunately.
And I moved away a bit from the others. But I
Sure.
don't know how.
Where are we? Sorry, I'm just getting it.
Oh.
Apologies, it is 20-foot cube.
So I'm out of there.
Alton's definitely out of there. I would say the way that you described it, Cyric is out of there as well. So it just gets Celir, Mara, and Garvin.
Yep. What's the save?
Dexterity.
Okay. What's the DC?
The DC is... It's only 13.
Okay. Everyone but Mara passes.
Okay.
I just have color coordinated dice for
Yeah.
the 3 people.
fine.
I just rolled-
So you can see Mara starts to twinkle with a sort of a violet light around her. And that, I believe, is the Drider's.
Action.
Yes, that's all she's going to do.
All one of them is going to do.
And it is one of the other Driders that goes next. And it is going to come out of its tunnel and then crawl along the wall underneath the palisade where Alton has just fireballed. And it's going to take out a longbow and aim it at Mara, because Mara's the one that's been affected by the fairy fire. Does a 24 hit Mara?
Barely.
Barely. And Mara takes 8 points of piercing damage. And also make a DC 13 con save.
Con. Yeah, she passes.
Okay. So she doesn't take any poison damage, but she can feel poison burning in the tip of the longbow that's lodged in her shoulder.
Yeah.
After the second Drider, it is Garvin to go.
Okay.
So the closest one that he can get to is 45 feet away.
All
There's
right.
one closer than that, but it's on the ceiling, about 30 feet above him.
And obviously he doesn't have any throwing weapons, because that'd be ridiculous to arm our Garvin with weapons. Who would do that?
I don't know if it's been a theme, but almost every time you enter a dungeon or go somewhere, Terror always goes, "Oh yeah, I meant to buy some hand axes."
Yeah.
It never does. Even though I quite often go, "You can just get any basic weapons for free from such and such," and he never does it. So
Yeah.
that's just a thing.
Yeah, he'll just dash to the.
We also have a hand axe of returning. Just
Yes. But
just pointing that out.
That's true.
Cyric has that on himself.
Yeah.
Rightly.
He'll dash
So
to the nearest Drider.
he'll dash
I
up
do.
to the last one to move that's still just in the tunnel entrance.
Is the one on the wall within melee range?
Yes, I mean, obviously you'd still have to dash to get to it. but
Yeah.
it's not so high that you wouldn't be able to hit
I
it.
think he'll go to that one instead of the one in the tunnel still.
That's fine, not a problem. Mara is next in the initiative order.
Okay. I was looking at her spells, and obviously, who prepares protection from poison when going underground? That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just. And no 5th level spells? Great.
Yeah, we had a couple of big battles leading up to this one.
No, you just didn't prepare any 5th level spells.
Oh, that's
He
great.
has the spell slot.
Don't clerics know all their spells?
But
No,
this,
they.
I mean, to explain, this is because Terror uses a paper
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what
and,
spells
and
Sarah
doesn't,
has
it doesn't
prepared.
update his roll 20, so we don't actually know what his.
Nice.
Yeah.
A real tricky dicky.
Realistically, this week, if you see a 5th level spell, we can just fudge it a bit this week without going mental.
I'm going
Has to be something that would have the flavor that Mara would use.
right.
but,
Which
I'm not going to disadvantage you by completely not giving you
the ones that I want to use are ones that Mara would not use, unfortunately. I played a death cleric when I played a cleric, so it's very different flavor. I mean, we know Mara's favorite spell. It's Guiding Bolt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which one are you guiding bolting?
The one in front of Garvin, so that way Garvin would have advantage
Yep.
on it. I missed. Misses, because it's Mara.
Yep. I mean, it's also.
Of course.
I mean, it's on
Of
brand.
course.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
I'm playing this character so well.
Any bonus or actions or movement?
Movement will probably. Is there any sort of like stalagmites on the ground around?
There's
us?
these two gigantic crystals are the only things like on the ground. I mean, there's rough bits, but
Would she be able to angle herself between that and the longbow rider?
One of them, because obviously the one on the
Yeah.
ceiling and the one on the back wall, but she can definitely take cover against one of them. Yeah,
She'll move to that, and
it's the second rider in the initiative order that she'll have cover from.
right. And she doesn't have sanctuary, so never mind. Nothing else.
Okay. It is the third rider to go next, and seeing a dwarf, which is something that they are particularly hateful towards, it's going to run up to Garvin along with the other one. Now, something that Mara got away with is I failed to read the character sheet right, because they're meant to make 3 attacks around, so she's meant to get 3 long bows instead. So apologies, but that's why this one's going to be a bit harder. So
That one was a newbie. That one was just a news rider. Doesn't quite have.
so it pulls out a longsword, which it is wielding two-handed. The first one, it's hard to hit Garvin because he's got a fucking mental AC. First one misses is a 9.
Say the number.
Second slash is a 10. Fuck, the third one's a natural 1.
Oh,
So Garvin, I think, with his shield is just a frenzy of blocking as this thing takes its two-handed longsword, and but it does not manage to get past his considerable dwarven guard. And that is all it is going to do. Slayer, you are next in the initiative.
yes, I will join Garvin in the fray.
Okay.
I will be.
You can get there without dashing, I think. What's your movement again?
I have 40 movement.
You're 5 feet short. Because
Can I get to the one? What about the one that with the longsword? Did it?
Let's say yes. I'm not going to be a dick. Theatre of the mind and all that. It's not so that they have to take a fucking ruler out and measure exact distances. That's fine.
I will rage.
Yep.
And with our new system,
Make
What
a
is
con save.
that is my second rage. So, yeah, I'm fine. Unfortunately.
No.
And I will hit him very hard, very recklessly. Over 20.
Over 20, yep.
Yep. And over 20 again.
Mhm.
I don't even count. Numbers are hard. And let's see.
Numeros be
15 damage?
15 damage, okay. And the second one?
Then 13 damage.
My 28. Okay. Fine. Seems to take those blows without any significant
Ooh.
reduction to itself.
Alright. That's my turn.
Okay. Last but no means least, the 2 sizzled, frazzled-looking drow pop up from behind the palisade. And they also fire, they've got short bows, and they attack Mara because she is still... Oh, yeah, no, because the one that cast the fairy fire didn't get hit, so there's no con save.
Does she have partial cover? Because she moved.
Oh yeah,
in
she
behind
will.
the longbow
So
one,
you
yeah.
can add 4 AC for cover.
She's got decent days.
Yeah.
So they do get advantage still though. So that was a natural 18 plus 4, 22.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That'll hit. I'll just roll the other one as well. That's a natural 19.
Cutting
Yeah.
words.
Natural 19. So
Cutting
they
words.
you get
Cutting words,
Okay,
that one. So that'll...
So it's 23 at the moment to hit until you roll your cutting words.
Yep.
It's your
Yeah, it's a D8.
bard die.
It's your bar. Yes, it's whatever your bard dice are.
So it's D8.
Stag bear dice.
Right.
Yep. So you will minus 7 from it. So
Okay, so
That'll
that's
miss.
16. So that will miss. Okay, that is fine. Also to make a DC 13 con save for poison. So she takes
She's good on poison. She's rolled way better than me.
what did she roll?
She rolled a nat 20 on her
All right, she
poison.
rolled a nat 20. But she does take 8 points of piercing damage from
Okay.
the thing. So that concludes a full turn. Do you want to take a slightly early break, seeing as it's
Yeah.
the top of the order for initiative?
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good.
Really? I didn't have my move.
Yes, you did.
No,
No,
Sarah
he didn't. He didn't.
No,
Oh,
no,
sorry. Cyric, you should have
That's-
gone before the drow, so you go. Apologies. We'll do that first then. Very sorry,
that's
Cyric.
alright.
You should have gone
No,
before the drow.
it's all right. Let's see. The two up on the palisade.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw in. Well, I assume this cave is quite damp, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Or is it-
there's a humidity in the area.
Yeah. Then so Cirque holds out his hand and quite quickly the water will start to form into a nice knife,
Okay.
and he will chuck it up there.
That's fine.
Nice knife. It's the ranged spell attack.
It is.
Followed by a dexterity saving throw.
They do
Indeed.
have a little bit of cover, so they are going to
Hmm.
get a little bit of a bump to their AC.
That's all right. I'll just cast it at first level. That's one of them.
Mhm.
So it's 24 to hits.
24 hits, definitely. Okay. So 11
then-
piercing damage kills the one that you targeted, and
Everyone within
18.
5 feet of him.
What does it look like?
Oh yeah. Well, as I said, he forms the water into just this icicle, basically hurls it up there. And then it splashes out into small nail fragments.
Sleer
Nice.
or Jabber, you can undo the damage to Mara, because that was my fault that I rolled them in front, and Cyric's ice knife and shattering spray manages to kill, because they only had 2 hit points left after
Oh,
after Alton's fireball. So a little bit of a higher roll, you'd have killed them all whether they passed or failed.
well,
All right, no worries.
There we go.
All right, and now we take a break.
And now we take a break.
We'll see y'all in 10 minutes. That's right.
Yeah, we'll do it again.